Welcome along. Let's get straight to that breaking news. Sir Andrew Strauss has been speaking to the media this lunchtime at the end of a week of change for English cricket. Sir Andrew has stepped in as interim managing director following the departure of Ashley Giles. He's been reflecting on that and the sacking of head coach Chris Silverwood following that dismal Ashes campaign. Thus, just in.
What we're doing right at the moment is asking ourselves the question, what's the right structure to help those England cricket players? So, you know, the coaching structure, what is the role of the managing director of England cricket? How do we ensure that, you know, we get the right sort of balance between red ball and white ball cricket? And then, of course, what is the role of the domestic game in producing the next generation of England cricketers? So I think we've got to just take a step back and look at that. I think the intention, of course, has got to be to be number one in all formats. Like that's what we're in the business of doing. It's a high performance environment, and there's some work to do for us to get there. But there is talent, and there's nothing stopping us going on and winning in the West Indies and then winning next summer and really creating a momentum and a head of steam. And you know, the new coach and the new director of cricket have got the opportunity to drive that forward.
Is it possible to be the best in white ball and red ball cricket, or is it a matter of a trade-off between the two?
Well, look, I think there is always a trade-off, and you've got different priorities, but there's nothing stopping you do it if you've got a good enough group of players. I mean, India are very close to the top in both formats at the moment. New Zealand are, as are Australia. So if they can do it, why can't we? We've got a great system in this country, a lot of good cricketers playing. We've got a lot of resource, so why can't we do it?
You are interim managing director. Would you like this role permanently? No.
Listen, I'm in here for a short time to, I suppose, help steady the ship, make sure the team's as well prepared as possible for the West Indies, help Tom with the structure of that England cricket department moving forwards, and then the recruitment of the new roles. But you know, a lot of people know my personal situation, and you know, that going back to that director of cricket role is not in my wheelhouse at the moment.
Would you like a role of some sort going forward? You seem to be the man everyone looks to for the answers.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a certain pressure that comes with that, but I think I'm always keen to help English cricket, but I've obviously got my own personal situation that I need to be very cognizant of, and you know, I've got my other interests outside of the world of cricket as well, including my own business. So there's a lot going on for me. I'm always keen and happy to help out, which is why I'm sitting here with you right now. So
short term, does Joe Root continue as Test captain?
He does, absolutely. You know, I mean, Joe is just an unbelievably impressive human being. He leads by example. I think he's our one world-class batsman, and if anyone else has ambitions to have a long England career, they only have to look at the way he performs and the example he sets. And he's got the bit between his teeth. He's hurt, he's wounded on the back of the Ashes defeat, and he's determined to lead the team forward with this kind of red ball reset. And so, you know, I can't answer for him beyond the time that I'm playing this role, but for the time being, he has my complete support.
Is that almost because there aren't many options at the moment for Joe Root? If he steps down, it's only Ben Stokes and him. Is it almost like there isn't anywhere else to go at the moment? Well,
look, there aren't a huge number of options, and that's more a function of players not grabbing their chance in the England shirt well enough. They're not enough settled players who can be sure of their place, and obviously it's very hard to lump the captaincy on one of those players. But I think the truth is that Joe has still got gas in the tank. And if you ask, like, who's the best example in and around this setup to take the team forward for the time being, it's definitely him.
ECB Chief Executive Tom Harrison has also been speaking to the media. He's confirmed the departure of Graham Thorpe, who follows head coach Chris Silverwood out the door.
We've announced today that Graham's also leaving his role as batting coach. And again, that's something very grateful for the contribution that Graham's made over the time with ECB. He's done a huge amount, but again, he's leaving his role today.
What did you see when you were in Australia, and what did you make of what was going on?
Well, obviously, it was an extremely difficult tour. I think the performances were very disappointing, and I think that's obviously something that every English cricket fan shares. But there was a variety of observations which were submitted to a panel headed by Andrew Strauss, and then the board have made some decisions on the back of it. But look, it's culminated in some decisions that we've made. We're now going to be focusing on making sure that the preparations are in place for selection for the West Indies tour next week, and getting the team into the right shape to go and compete against a very competitive West Indies team who are always extremely hard to beat at home.
Have the coaches lost the dressing room?
Look, I don't think this is about a judgment on the relationship with players at all. I think this is a situation where we are now having to make assessments on the coaching teams and the resources and people that we need to take the test team back to where we want it to be. That is those are the decisions that we've made, and we're looking now to make sure that we reset, both in terms of the environment around the England test team, but also in domestic cricket, to ensure that the complex reasons behind why our performances are not at the level that they need to be are all addressed, and there are complex reasons for that.
Ashley Giles has left, Chris Silverwood has left, Graham Thorpe has left. A lot of England cricket fans are saying, why are you still in position? Why haven't you resigned? Well,
I've got a lot of work to do to build, to take English cricket back to where it needs to be. There's a plan in place to address the issues that we've faced through the winter, and we look forward to the England team being back into the places that it should be, performing well, winning series, raising trophies. That's what and I'm focused very much on doing that job.
You're convinced you're the right man to do that still?
There's a lot of work to do.
Despite everything that's happened in the last 18 months?
Well, I think in times of great difficulty, it's where people, you have to dig very deep and make sure that that you're building plans and taking action that gets us through it. I think that's the role that I'm playing. I have the support of the board, and that's what I'll be focusing on.
You do have the support of the board and the county still?
I have the support of the board, yeah. Those are the people I work for, and that's the role that I'm playing. Yeah.
So we know that Joe Root is staying on as England's Test captain for the time being, but it was something that former England batsman Nick Compton disagreed with when we spoke to him this morning.
His captaincy hasn't been good enough. There's been a number of situations where he's behind the 8 ball. He's been very reactive rather than on the front foot, and there has been criticism of him by elite cricketing people for his captaincy for some time now. I also think that he's been selecting the teams along with Chris Silverwood. So if Chris Silverwood, gets the boot, then in some ways you'd have more respect for Joe if he resigned from the role, because the two of them have done it together for the last couple of years, and it hasn't worked. I think someone like Stuart Broad, in my opinion, in the short term, look, he's at the latter stages of his career, but he's still performing. He's still a performer. He's a winner.
Meanwhile, Kevin Peterson has tweeted, "For those asking, I would never take the England job until or unless they commit to franchising county cricket. If they don't and the mediocre county cricketers still stay as professionals, please don't expect different results."
I do think the appointments of Giles and Silverwood, you could question whether they should have been there in the first place. I think they should have gone for more experienced campaigners, someone a bit more hard-nosed. And I think now's the time to have that reset of Test cricket that everyone's talking about will do them good. But I think the county structure is a separate issue. I think it's about feeding the better players into the system, and we're not getting that. We're not getting competition for places. We're not seeing players coming through and pushing the guys above. And fundamentally, that's what a healthy system does. The competition for places aren't there. The skills not being there. The concentration isn't there to be a really successful skilled Test cricket team.